I believe the men that I sat and looked into their eyes on a Zoom call yesterday can win SWAC championships.
Deion Sanders made a bold move in 2020 by becoming the head football coach at Jackson State University, an HBCU with a rich football history. His arrival sparked excitement, controversy, and a renewed interest in HBCU football that hadn't been seen in decades. From the start, the special number 21 that Sanders donned on his way to an NFL Hall of Fame career became immersed at Jackson State. Sanders was named as the 21st head coach in the proud history of Jackson State football on September 21st, 2020. Along with Coach Prime, both Shedeur and Shiloh Sanders elected to join their father on his electric HBCU journey. Initially committed to Florida Atlantic University, Shedeur Sanders flipped his commitment to Jackson State shortly after the announcement of his father's hiring. Deion's older son, Shiloh Sanders, would end up transferring from South Carolina to Jackson State University. Even with signing both of his sons, Deion Sanders' biggest move was still to be made. Shortly after Shiloh's commitment, #1 overall rated high school prospect Travis Hunter stunned the entire world as he announced his decision to flip his commitment from Florida State University to Jackson State. Hunter's decision was a game changer, signaling that top talent could choose HBCUs over traditional powerhouses. Sanders' ability to recruit elite players proved that Jackson State could be a legitimate contender on a national stage. As Coach Prime wrapped up his first Jackson State recruiting class, the Tigers had 9 Power 5 transfers, 7 high school recruits who flipped their commitment, and a number of elite JUCO athletes. Despite a successful recruiting class, the Tigers faced the ultimate challenge before they ever touched the football field.
It's not professional sports, and so the idea that you got to have students on campus, first of all, to be able to play sports, and then the idea that you're asking students to take this risk that they're not being compensated for in terms of monetary compensation, I mean scholarship and otherwise, that's tricky.
The global pandemic resulted in the Tigers participating in a spring football season, with the first game being scheduled for February 21st, 2021. Despite the unique challenges, Sanders led the Tigers to a promising start, showcasing a new style and swagger on the football field. A major opening win against Edward Waters began the Coach Prime era that was a turning point of the elevation of Jackson State football and the university's journey to becoming one of the most impactful and recognizable brands nationwide. By the end of the COVID-shortened spring schedule, Coach Prime and the Tigers finished his first season with a 4-3 record. The 2021 season marked the team's first record over the 500 mark since 2013. With a new level of swagger and moxie, it was evident the Tigers were coming. Under Sanders' leadership, Jackson State's games weren't just about football. They became a spectacle. With Coach Prime at the helm, the team's energy was contagious, drawing attention from media and fans nationwide. Deion Sanders did more than just coach at Jackson State. He used his platform to address issues plaguing HBCUs, such as money games, where smaller schools are paid to play against much larger programs, often resulting in lopsided defeats.
If we're going to get our butt kicked, shouldn't it be worth it?
Coach Prime's stance sparked a large conversation about the financial dynamics of college football and the long-term impacts on smaller programs. Furthermore, one of the most memorable games during Sanders' tenure was the heated contest against Grambling State. With temperatures soaring above 90 degrees, many fans left the stadium early, and some were even treated for health-related illnesses. Similar to Sanders' response to money games, he also spoke expressively about his thoughts on fans leaving the game. His comments underscored the passion and commitment that Deion Sanders expected not only from his players, but also from the community. It was a call to action for fans to support the team, no matter the circumstances. Deion Sanders didn't just change the roster, he revived the culture at Jackson State. His efforts extended beyond the football field, helping to elevate the band's performances, engage alumni, and build excitement around every aspect of game day. The sonic boom of the South became an integral part of the experience, captivating crowds with their energetic performances, while Sanders ensured the football team mirrored that intensity on the field. Perhaps Sanders' most significant impact was the exposure he brought to Jackson State and HBCU football as a whole. More Jackson State games were broadcast on national networks, and more recruits considered HBCUs as viable options. Sanders paired his program's combination of excellence and exposure off of the field with a ton of on-the-field success. In the fall of 2021, Sanders and Jackson State made school history as they finished with an 11-2 record and an 8-0 conference record en route to winning the SWAC championship. The Tigers also set an FCS record for attendance in fall 2021, averaging more than 42,000 fans per home game. As Coach Prime continued to build an elite roster on both sides of the ball at Jackson State, the Tigers continued to destroy their opponents. Building off of their 11-2 record in 2021, the Tigers finished the 2022 season 12-1 and earned yet another SWAC title. The Tigers' dominance was also highlighted by back-to-back Cricket Celebration Bowl appearances. Alongside Jackson State's growth, Sanders continued to push for opportunities to highlight all talent in the SWAC and across HBCU culture. In March 2022, Sanders held a pro day featuring athletes from 4 other schools in the state of Mississippi to provide a platform in front of 22 NFL teams and the Canadian Football League. University of Florida transfer James Houston IV is a modern example of one of Coach Prime's most dominant players at Jackson State. In 2021, Houston earned all SWAC and All-America accolades as he ranked 2nd in the nation in both sacks and tackles for loss. In spring 2022, Houston became the 100th NFL draft selection in Jackson State football history and remains with the Lions today.
Getting to Jackson and playing every down, every game, that was exactly what I needed. And I feel like it really helped me, especially going to a new position. It helped me understand the position more. It helped me just be comfortable.
In just 3 seasons with Jackson State University, Coach Prime was successful both on and off of the football field. However, in December 2022, Sanders made the difficult decision to leave Jackson State and become the head coach at Colorado. While his departure was met with mixed reactions, there is no denying the legacy he left behind.
I've chosen to accept the job elsewhere next year. I'm going to finish what we started. We're going to dominate. I'm going to be here to that end and that conclusion. And then when that conclusion, we will move on.
Sanders' impact on Jackson State and HBCU football will be felt for years to come, as he opened the door for other prominent coaches and players to consider HBCUs as serious contenders. Deion Sanders' journey at Jackson State was more than a coaching stint. It was a movement to uplift, inspire, and empower young athletes to see the greatness within themselves. His time at Jackson State wasn't just about winning games, it was about changing lives and elevating the status of HBCU football.